Hey YouTube, this is Scarecrow Kaiser. This is gonna be a deck profile on let's call it a Zell Gold Paladin. Doing this since I recently did my Black Knight Paladin build, so I'm gonna do this version. This is actually the version I prefer. I was more excited about Black Paladins until I got to try them, and then I actually prefer this more standard build. Alright, so starter, the Lion Club, pretty good card. Just a free move to the back row guy like most starters, and then if you ever need to, you can, for not even a minus, get to Superior Ride. It's pretty good. Then the trigger lineup, 8 crit, 4 hit and 4 draw. I like to run the draws versus like stands because I just like having 8 triggers that are good on my turn, 8 are good on their turn, and they work pretty well for this deck. I'm not running the Sky Knight or Falcon Knight. I prefer to run this guy over him. The Falcon Knight's ability doesn't really come up that much. I mean, some people would argue they like cards with their abilities versus not, and Sky Knight's ability, I've never actually had to use it. Like, it's never actually come up where I actually flipped him over and summoned him. And if it did, it's just an additional 1,000 more than what this guy provides. I prefer this guy to the Falcon Knight because there are going to be times very often, at least very often in my experience, where you're going to call this draw trigger to team up with a 10k so that you'll swing for 15. That happens for me a lot. It's not like something that happens every game, but it does occur quite often enough that I prefer his 5,000 boost versus the Falcon Knight's 4,000, because I don't feel like the Falcon Knight's effect is that relevant versus having the 5,000 boost. So, on my grade 1s, 4 of the Halo Shield, 4 Gareth, 3 Sagel Sword, 1 Cherigal, and 2 Tron. Halo Shield and Gareth are pretty standard. Slagel Sword, I think this card is very boss. I don't get why people run Nemu. I feel like Nemu's effect is irrelevant 90% of the time. But this guy right here, this guy will actually win you games. Like, the whole reason cards like Sagramore are good is because they give you that little boost you need to hit like the 20 mark or the 21 mark, and that's what this guy does. Late game, when you need that little bit of push to actually finish the game off by hitting the sweet spot, you can boost him to the customized amount that you need to get in there. I'm running 2 Tron, 1 Cherigal, just for that seems to be the best ratio that works out for me. Cherigal, if I ever need it, is there. Sure, there are sometimes I'll draw it when I want to summon it, but it's not that big a deal. And then I run the 2 Trons for the times where my Vanguard isn't actually Garmor. I'd rather have the more versatile option. And if I yeah. That's basically it. Just if this guy, this guy's good if he's teamed up with anyone, whereas this guy's only good if he's with the Garmor. Sometimes I'll draw it and whatever, and then having the Trons to replace Garmor if I actually get to the point where Garmor is all, or Cherigal's all used up. Yeah, whatever. Grade 2s, 4 Trip, 4 Bauman. It's pretty standard. And then these are my 2 techie choices, I guess. I'm running 3 Slagel Sword. I really like this guy for the same reason that Slagel Dagger's good. He lets you customize his point value so that at endgame you can push for that little bit more that will either drain the opponent's hand or finish them off. And if not, nothing else. He's like 9,000. And then the 1 Valkyrie. I won the 1 Valkyrie just one because there are times where I can use, if I need more field presence versus summoning a good booster, I can play my Garmor and summon out the Valkyrie, and then counterblast one more, and the Valkyrie will get me an additional card. I don't want to run 2 because I don't care that much if I draw. If I don't, whatever. If I do, it's cool. And she's not very strong, so if I run more of her, I'm more likely to actually draw it. So I don't play Vivian. Vivian is a pretty cool card, but a lot of people, as many of you know who are experienced, Vivian's a cool card, but she's not that great. Sure, she's good, but not very, very good, if you guys know what I'm trying to say. Because often, like, obviously they try to block her when her effect's relevant, but the only time I really like her is turn 2 when I can ride her as like the Vanguard. Past that, when I get to my 3rd turn, I'm gonna have like probably a full field anyway, or want to have one. And if I have to leave open slots for Vivian's effect to go off if she hits, then I have to hold back my firepower, which is a negative to me. Like, it's just gonna hold you back if you can't just put your full field out there. And they're probably gonna block her that way anyways, because they don't want her to go off. I'd rather just not have to deal with all this bullshit and play the Slagle swords, so that, and have his more likely, I feel, relevant effect that he'll boost me up to get to that sweet spot and game it. My grade 3 lineup, 2 is L. I don't really feel like you need more than 2. 2 is good because you might need to superior ride it, and it's a good game finisher to ride to finish off the opponent, but you don't most of the time want it to be the Vanguard. 3 Garmor, probably the best card for being your Vanguard in Royal Paladins. Even in my Black Paladin or Black Knight Gold Paladin build, I didn't really like having the dragon as my Vanguard versus this. I feel like this card put in a lot more work. And then we've got 2 Gigantic Destroyers. Right now, this grade 3 lineup is running pretty good for me. Garmor being so good, I kind of want to play a 4th one, but I don't exactly know how I would change it, because I really like having these 2 as rear guards. They're very useful, and I don't think I can really change my number of Zels, so I may eventually cut a card from somewhere else in the deck, probably the grade 2 lineup somewhere, and make it 8 and put in a 4th Garmor. But yeah, so that's it for this.